Okay. So, polyatomics you must know, and I'm going to do it in an order that I think is logical, and I'm going to start with the 1 pluses, and there's only one of them, which is NH4, 1 plus, which is ammonium. Okay? Then I'm going to go to the 1 minuses, and I'm going to start with those. Your first 1 minus is bromate, which is Br03, 1 minus. Make sure you've got that one. Your next one is hydrogen carbonate, HCO3, 1 minus. This guy has 2 names. Hydrogen carbonate, or what's the other name? Yeah, good, bicarbonate. All right. Then we have another 1 minus, OH. 1 minus is hydroxide. And your last one is MnO4, 1 minus, which is not pomegranate, it's permanganate. I don't know who was calling it. Somebody was calling it pomegranate. Yeah. No, it's something else. These are always a positive metal first, always a negative non-metal, and then they come together to form that charge. So if they're rearranged, they're something else. All right, so that's all your 1 minuses. Then we'll go to, let's go to your 2 minuses. Your first one was CO3, whoops, 2 minus, which is carbonate. And then you had Cr2O7, 2 minus, which is dichromate. And you guys had, peroxide. O2, 2 minus, peroxide. And then your last 2 minus was sulfate, SO4, 2 minus, sulfate. And then you only had 1 3 minus, which was PO4, 3 minus, which was phosphate. Now count those and make sure there's 10, please. Yeah, we good? So, on the quiz, it's worth 62 points. On the quiz, everything I did is based around those 10 things, and if it's not one of those 10 polyatomics, then it's a monatomic right off the periodic table. I didn't use any other polyatomics. So let's just make a little list, too, of what's fair game for the test. Everybody have these? Can I get rid of it? All right. So let's see. First of all, you should be able to make neutral compounds, which I think we're pretty good at now. Make them, name them. Also, watch to make sure you don't need to reduce. Bless you. Does that make sense when I say that? Watch and make sure you don't need to reduce? Okay, so that would be like, I gotta think of one. Okay. Let's say we had SN5 and 2 minus. All right, so we know this is a 4 plus, right? Because it says SN4. If we do this, like the easy thing, and I pull this over here, I have SN2O4. That makes sense to everybody? Now I have a 2 and a 4, right? Both of them are divisible by 2. Yes? So really that would be SNO2. Be sure you check. Yeah, you just have to be sure you have the right subscripts. No, but if you wrote the name, you would tell me 10. If I use 4 oxide. Okay. Yes. You should, yes. Yeah. You might lose like a half a ton if you don't. And I don't remember if I put any of those on there or not. Okay. Any other questions about neutral compounds? Okay. Okay, let's see. You need to be able to make the compound and then calculate molar mass. You need to be able to tell, or maybe I should say explain, what molarity is. And that would be both units, and I would say what it tells us. Any questions about that one? This one's pretty self-explanatory. This one, you have any questions about, Patty? No, it tells us like the concentration of the solution. The higher the molarity, the stronger the solution. Remember I talked about hydrochloric acid, 12 molar versus like what we're going to use in lab, 1 molar. So, and then it's units. People are messing this up. What are the units on molarity? Moles per liter. Yeah. So how much is dissolved? How many grams or moles are dissolved in a liter? Let's see what, oh. And you should be able to tell me what a solution is and its parts. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Okay. I think that's it. Now let's see if we can figure this out. How many grams, to get all your stuff out, how many grams are in, how many grams of, we'll use, sodium hydroxide, yeah, I left it out. How many grams sodium hydroxide are in a 7.2 molar solution? First of all, see, and you might not be able to, but just using your periodic table, can you make sodium hydroxide? Do you know what hydroxide is yet? Anybody? What is it? OH minus. What's sodium? Na? Yep, 1 plus. You should be able to make that compound. Now, see if you can figure out how many grams are in 7.2 molar solution. when you have an answer, stand up. If we agree. Molar, yeah. I'm gonna look at your phone answer. 288? Who else got that? Anybody want to see me write this out step by step? Yeah? Okay. You guys can sit down. 288 is the correct answer. So I've got 7.2 moles in 1 liter. I want to know about grams. So I know I want to end in grams. It's a moles to grams, so it's a 2-step. So I put my molar mass up top, which was 240. And I put my 1 mole down below. That's the number of grams in 1 mole. Becomes a multiplication problem. I need to see your work. I don't really care as long as I can follow your path of work. You don't have to write the boxes. It doesn't matter to me. I should see units canceled out though. So there's 288 grams in 1 liter would be equal to a 7.2 molar solution. That's how I would write it. What? Yeah, that's really the way the answer should be written, yeah. Okay, so I'm only gonna give you 3 questions. We'll see if you can set the next one up. What is the molarity of a solution that has 675 grams of HCl dissolved in 1 liter of solution? See what you can do with that. When you think you have a correct answer, stand up. So I'm going to ask you the first question. How many steps did you do this problem in? 2, 3, 4, 2. Yeah. Good answer. Now, when I set it up, I have to get my grams to cancel out, right? So what do I have to figure out? Yeah, how many grams are in a mole, right? Because I want a mole up here. And that would be 1 plus 35.5, which would be 36.5 grams. It is the same thing as molar mass. These guys cancel out, and that's going to be pretty strong HCl, isn't it? Yeah, what is it, like 18 point something? 18.5 molar HCl. Are we good? You always should put the compound, yeah. Get in the habit of doing that. All right, I'm going to give you one last kind of try, and then I'm going to give the rest of the time to study cards with each other. All right. How many grams I'm going to stick with HCl are needed to make a 7.5 molar solution let's make this 450 milliliters. There. See if you can set that up. Yeah. Yep, stand up when you're done. Feel pretty secure about this answer? Yeah? What did you get, Meg? Anyone else get that? Yeah, that's the answer. Oh, sorry. No, it's right. If you got 123.2-ish, you're good. I'm gonna write this out though, just so you can see it. So I've got moles up here. I want 1 mole down here. There are 36.5 grams in 1 mole. So now I've got my grams, which I know I want to keep because it's up here in the problem. But I have to get from liters to milliliters, so I want 1 liter up here. Those cancel out. I know there are 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter, and I know that I want 450 milliliters in the end. So those cancel out, and all I'm left with is grams. So I multiply 7.5 by 36.5, I divide by 1,000, and then I multiply by 450. And I get 123 point, keep forgetting, 2 grams per 450 milliliters equals a 7.5 molar solution HCl. Okay? Now, do you have any other questions for me? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 3 or 4 problems on Classroom. If it were me and I were studying, I would try first to make I would study my cards first. And then I would try to make the compound without looking at my cards. And then I would try to work the problem without looking at my notes. And then if I need to, I'd flip back to my notes. And then in the end, I would take those 3 or 4 problems and I would compare them to the answer key that I'll put underneath. Okay? All right.